Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Like Butter, and today I'm bringing you some standalone gameplay. Yes, the DayZ Standalone came out yesterday on 12/16/2013. I actually made a little vlog talking about it, but this is just has some gameplay, and I want to talk about the pros and cons and whether I think you should get this game in its initial state or not. I know a lot of people have been sending me messages and stuff asking me if it's worth the money for the condition that it's in right now, and I'm here to talk about all those things. So I actually made a list here of pros and cons about the game that I want to talk about, and just basically explain what I think so far, even though I only got probably I'd say like 5-6 hours in yesterday, which usually isn't as much as I would normally play a new game. But okay, so let me talk about the good things first, because we always want to talk about the good things first. So the graphics obviously are much better because this is a version of the Arma 3 engine, I believe. You can tell, I did buy Arma 3, I think about I don't know, several months ago. I thought that people were going to make a lot of DayZ mods for it, which they did, but I never really moved on from Arma 2. I kind of just played Arma 3 a little bit, and it was super buggy when it came out, which is my first disclaimer at this point. You guys got to remember the DayZ Standalone. This isn't even an alpha, guys. It's pre-alpha. It says in the the opening description of the game, this is very, very, very pre-alpha, so it's completely understandable. But anyways, first thing, like I said, is graphics. The graphics are a lot better. There's a ton of new loot, different things you're gonna see in my backpack. There's so many different types of backpacks, different colors of backpacks, different shapes of backpacks. Obviously different amounts of slots. There's tons of different items that you can pick up. You actually have to go through the buildings and loot the different corners of the room. It's not like the original DayZ where you're just gonna see stuff sitting in the middle of the floor. You kind of have to scavenge through the houses and make sure that you're not missing stuff. They got a cool little thing where if you hit the tab button and go into your inventory, it will show you if you're really close to an item. It will tell you what's in your vicinity so that you don't miss stuff. Anyways, that's obviously what I want to get to next. The inventory system, as you can see, I'm using it here. I'm up at the Northeast Airfield, which, to be honest, the only way you're going to get any good loot at this point is to run north, and on a decently small server at that. I think this server ended up filling up pretty good, but you can see there's a gun up here. So this building you can't even enter in the original Arma 2 mod. This is that's another good thing that I want to get into. That I guess that would get me into the next thing is first of all, the graphics are better. There's a lot more loot that you can find, even though right now there's not much of it, but obviously the items are a lot different than the original mod. They really focused on the melee weapons. I think in the original DayZ mod, I think you only had like a crowbar that didn't even work and a hatchet. Well, in this you got like a fireman's hatchet, you have a regular hatchet, you have a hammer, you have a shovel, you have a whole as you can see, I have a baseball bat in my inventory, whole bunch of stuff. And I actually just looted this guy who is dead up here. That's when we'll get into the bad things of why I think that guy ended up passing out and dying up here. But anyways, so enterable buildings. There are so many buildings that are enterable that were not enterable in the DayZ mod. Okay, so you're talking about all those little buildings that you see in the little towns that are pretty much useless. I'm talking like Kamishovo, Kamaravo, all those like little towns that you would really just run right by to get to the military areas. Well, they're actually worth looting now because there's almost every building is enterable. That is super awesome. They actually made it so the hospital is full. So you go into the hospital in the original mod and you had that one floor and you could go up on the roof. Well, now there's a huge back room, there's a staircase, there's multiple floors, and it goes all the way up to the roof, and it's like a real building. So that was probably one of the main reasons why the servers are so under stress, is because of how much detail each individual building has, which is awesome. I think that is an awesome thing that they added. I was enjoying this game yesterday, even though obviously there are tons of bugs and tons of things that need to be fixed, but like I said, that goes with the whole pre-alpha thing that I was talking about. Okay, so let me get to the next good thing, which is better frames. I did feel like I was getting a lot better frames in this than I was in the original DayZ mod. So of course, I do have a very good computer. So usually when I was dropping frames in the original DayZ mod, it wasn't due to me, it was due to the mod itself. So you can see me shoot a couple shots here and kill a zombie. I think I only killed one person yesterday, and I ended up beating them up with my hands, which is another thing you can actually hit. Well, for me, it's enter, because I like spacebar being, switch between third and first person. That's just how I've always been. It's the same thing with like League of Legends. I use the spacebar to lock and unlock my screen. So that's just what I'm used to. So I changed my key bindings. So for you guys, it would be spacebar, and you can kind of put your hands up and start beating up people, and you can actually take their stuff as well. So if you go up behind somebody who has a gun and you punch them in the back of the head, they fall over, you can actually grab their stuff for a split second. So it's kind of like the whole, in the original DayZ mod where you would go in and kind of pickpocket someone's backpack. The same general, idea, but a little more advanced. The other thing that I would consider as an in-between, which I don't think is a pro or a con, I don't really extremely know how I feel about it, is the equipping system, and I guess you would say the crafting system. It's kind of frustrating at first. Like, you have to put the battery in the flashlight, you have to equip your clip to the gun, and then you have to put your bullets into the clip, and it makes it very, very, I guess, not so much complicated, but more frustrating than anything, because it can get very, very tedious to be able to have to go through your inventory constantly and dragging things here and there and all that stuff. So but I do think it's cool at the same time. So if you find bullets, you can actually put them into the clip that you have attached to your gun. So it's kind of a cool concept. I don't completely know how I feel about it. I guess you guys could let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys haven't noticed, this is some gameplay from last night from the live stream, so obviously the quality isn't top notch, but promise me the graphics are very, very good when you're running everything in high. So let me get into the cons. There are a lot of things, and a lot of these will be fixed once they start going in and updating the game. So I'm not too worried about it. Obviously, zombies are bugged. You're not going to see very many zombies, and the zombies that you do, I saw them running through walls. There was one time where I went into a marketplace, and the zombies were kind of walking through the floor, and it was just, original bugs that you would see with the mod. But there's also like sound glitches where you hear zombies or hear cans of soda opening where there's no one around, but it'll still make the sound. So that will be fixed, I'm sure. The loot is obviously bugged. It's to a point where if you don't loot when the server restarts, you're not going to find loot at all, because loot doesn't actually respawn in buildings. So it spawns one time and then that loot is gone until the server restarts. So that's why you kind of you kind of have to run north to get any type of good equipment, and that's what I did. Luckily I came up here and somebody was dead and had a bunch of loot. So the lack of maps is a huge one. It's really hard to find maps, and even at that, you only find parts of maps. It's not like you're going to find a map in a supermarket like you could in the original DayZ mod and be like, oh, okay, well, this is where I am, this is blah, 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 because this is Chernarus Plus. It's huge. They added a bunch to the north side of the map that makes it super confusing. I got lost last night. I think I was running in fields for about, I'd say 2.5 hours, not seeing anything, because I tried running from the northeast airfield to the northwest airfield, and I didn't have a map, and I ended up getting lost in the miles and miles of kind of stuff that they added in the north side. So I definitely think maps have to be more plentiful throughout the map, so that we know where the hell we're going, especially with a new concept. I mean, I've been playing DayZ for almost 2 years now, and trust me, I know Chernarus like the back of my hand, but with all the stuff that they added, it got real confusing, and you can get lost very easily, especially if you go into a building, right, and you come out and you're like, wait, what fucking way did I run? It sucks. So there needs to be more maps. Passing out is a huge bug right now. You end up passing out if you get low on food or water. But even if you don't get low on food or water, you're still a ticking time bomb. Because yesterday, my guy was healthy. I wasn't low on food or water. I was fully geared. And eventually, as I was running, my screen got grayer and grayer to a point where it was literally black and white, which would look like that when you were really low on blood in the mod. And I couldn't really understand why it was doing that, and I've had multiple times where my guys just passed out. And same thing with my friends. My friends have had guys pass out, and once you're passed out, you're dead. It's a bug. You can't come out from that. It'll say you are unconscious, and it will just sit there. The screen will not move until you relog. When you relog, you end up spawning on the coast somewhere. So that's something that needs to be fixed. They already know about the bug, so I'm not surprised if they don't fix that within the next week or two. So that's not really a huge deal, even though it does kind of kill it right now because, if you're running around and looting for hours, the last thing you want to do is have your guy just drop dead for no reason. There's no vehicles yet, for obvious reasons. They want to make sure the servers are stable before they start adding vehicles, and I think that's another reason why they're not adding so much loot. They want to make sure the servers are stable before they start adding a bunch of stuff that's going to basically make it crash. Let's see, what else? No, wow, oh, sorry, no messages. Okay, never mind. Not messages, no meters. I was trying to read and I was like, what the heck does that say? There's no food and water meter anymore. Basically, it just comes up in the corner and says, you feel like having a drink, or you're very hungry, or your stomach growls. It's very annoying to not know where your food and water is and just kind of going off messages that come up in the side of the screen. I'm pretty sure Dean Hall said he doesn't want to add the meters back into the game, but why not? Like, that was awesome to be able to tell how much you need to eat, how much you need to drink, and how much blood you have. That's another thing. You have no idea how much blood you have. There's no debug monitors, no nothing. I don't know if there's a way to figure it out, but those things definitely need to be changed in my opinion. And like I said, the black and white thing, which I already touched on. So with all that being said, do I think this is worth $30 right now? Because $30 is pretty pricey for a pre-alpha game, I'll be honest with you. Performance-wise, it's not much different than the mod. There are new things, and it is new, so people are getting it like myself. I'm a huge DayZ fan, so I felt like it was worth the money. But if you were like, if it's coming down to it, and you're asking for this for Christmas, and you are expecting a polished game that's going to be real fun and not ruin your experience, then you might not want to consider getting it quite yet. I know a couple people in my life at least who, if they play a game, even if it's pre-alpha and they don't like it, they will never play that game again because the bad first impression that they got. Well, I'm not so much like that. I mean, me and my friends were poking fun about the game a little bit yesterday in my live stream, but it's all in good fun. We understand it's pre-alpha. We understand that, even the DayZ mod, think about how glitchy it was when it first came out. It was a working progress over the years for it to become stable, and even, after years of updating, it's still not completely stable. So we just need to kind of hang in there and help Bohemia and help Rocket with this. If you find a bug, go on the Reddit, talk about it, tweet him, it doesn't matter. We as a community need to try to come together to help them make this game better. We're not supposed to be here to just kind of bash on the game and, just never play it again because it's something that we don't like. I feel like as a community, we need to come together and help these developers understand, because that's why they're putting out pre-alpha, right? They're not putting out pre-alpha because they know the game's done. They're putting out pre-alpha so that thousands and thousands of people can play this game and they can find the bugs that need to be fixed. So I honestly think if you're a hardcore DayZ fan and you've been playing the mod for years or months or whatnot and you enjoy it, go ahead, pick it up. $30, half of what a game is on Xbox. So I honestly think it is a good buy for right now, but like I said, don't expect a polished game. It's very, very pre-alpha. It's got a lot of bugs to be fixed, but I know that they're working hard over there at Bohemia. I know Rocket's working his butt off, so I know for a fact that this game's going to come a long way. So if you want to be here, on the home stretch, then come on in, and I'll be streaming actually today. Excuse me, I think for my 13th day in a row, something like that. I've been live streaming every single day, and you know, I had no idea this game was coming out yesterday. My friend was telling me it was coming out. He's like, I have a feeling it's coming out. I have a feeling it's coming out, and I was like, nah, dude, I really don't think it is. So it did get released before I thought it was going to, even though it's been pushed so many times because I didn't really want to get my hopes up. But anyways, let me know in the comment section below. How about we have an interactive comment section here about this. Let me know what you guys think, for those of you who've played it, and also let the people who are thinking about getting it know your opinions and all that stuff, just like I did. So thanks for watching this video, guys. If you can drop the video a like, I'd really appreciate it, and I hope to see you over on my live stream later today so we can play some DayZ, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Take it easy, everybody.